For this colored pencil practice worksheet, you're gonna need to have 4 colored pencils. One needs to be overall a lighter color, for an example, yellow. One needs to be a medium value color, so maybe red. And one needs to be a darker value, maybe blue. You're also gonna need black. The next thing that you're gonna do is you're going to use very short pencil strokes, and you also want to think about your line direction. Instead of coloring in the cylinder using vertical strokes, it's better to use short curved strokes that go across the cylinder. That's gonna give the cylinder the impression that it's more three-dimensional. So you're gonna go in with light pressure, and you're just gonna start going in with those short pencil strokes, slightly overlapping them, and you're gonna completely cover the side of the cylinder using those short pencil strokes. Be sure not to saturate the paper. You don't want to go in with a very hard pressure with the pencil, because that'll saturate the paper and it'll make color mixing much more difficult when you want to go in and layer your second color. So the key is going in with that light pressure on the colored pencil, so you're not saturating the paper. You should still see some of that white paper showing through. Once you've covered the entire side of the colored pencil using your lightest value pencil, you're gonna repeat the same process with your medium value colored pencil. So in this example, I had a yellow color pencil as my lighter value. I'm going back in with red as my second value, and I'm still using a light pressure with my pencil. I'm still seeing some of that paper and the yellow underneath that color, and I'm going in with the short pencil strokes in the same line direction that I used in my first layer, and I'm just adding a second layer to the side of my cylinder. Please be mindful of your craftsmanship. You want to make sure that you are staying in the edges of that cylinder, making sure that your edges look nice and clean as well. Once you're finished with your second layer in the medium value, you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna put a third layer onto the cylinder using your darker value pencil. Next, you're gonna take your darkest value colored pencil. So for my cylinder, I was using a dark blue. And once again, you're still using a lighter pressure with that pencil. You're still using the same line direction. You are still using the short pencil strokes. You're gonna go over that cylinder with the third layer of colored pencil. It's important that you are still seeing the other two colors showing through that layer of colored pencil. As I work to the right-hand side of the cylinder with my darker value, I'm starting to apply a little bit more pressure with my pencil to try and create a little more shading and value to make that cylinder look more three-dimensional. Once I've completed my third layer, now I'm gonna go back in with my other two layers. My lightest value color, which was the yellow color, I'm gonna add another layer of the colored pencil. This time, I'm pressing a little bit harder, especially as I go to the right side of the cylinder where my dark values are. I'm gonna repeat the same thing with my red pencil. As I do this, I'm starting to saturate the paper. Saturating the paper means that the paper is becoming filled with pigment. As you layer more layers onto the paper, it's going to become saturated, so it's going to make it so that it can't accept any more pigment. You want to do this before you decide that you're done coloring in the cylinder. After you've had 3 layers of light pigment, and then you've gone in with your second layers and you've started to shade in more on the right-hand side to create that illusion of 3-dimension. As you can see right here, I'm finally going in with one last layer with my blue, and once again, I'm using a lighter pressure on the left-hand side of the cylinder to create the lighter values so it looks like the light is coming from the left. As I work my way to the right, I'm pressing harder with my color pencil and I'm creating that illusion of 3D. The very last step is you're gonna use your black color pencil and you're gonna go in and you're just gonna darken up the right-hand side of that cylinder to create the illusion of depth. The black is always the last step because black is so dark that it's gonna create a lot of contrast. I'm still using a light to medium light pressure. I don't want to completely cover my other colors with the black. I want to still be able to see those other colors showing through, but the black is really going to be the final step in adding that illusion of 3-dimensionality to your cylinder. Once again, be sure to keep craftsmanship in mind. Try to keep your edges as clean as possible. You may need to go back in with some of your other colors and re-layer until you feel like your cylinder looks finished. To finish the worksheet, you are going to repeat the exact same steps for the other 2 cylinders, but this time using different colors. Always have 4 pencils for each cylinder: a light value pencil, a medium value pencil, and a dark value pencil, and then finally you will use black.